What is up, everybody? It is your boy Cologne XP back at it again with another one, and today we are bringing you some more gaming news. Now, this gaming news pertains to the PlayStation. If you guys are excited for more of these gaming news type videos, make sure you drop a like. We are on the road to 500, and yeah, let's get into this. The first article that we are going to be discussing today, it had dropped earlier today. Missing PlayStation 3 premium avatars returning to the PlayStation 5 PlayStation app. So if you guys have a PlayStation 3, or you guys are fans of the PlayStation 3 and you're still a fan of like the avatars that they have for the PlayStation and things like that, there were some that they took away, but now I guess they're bringing them back. And let me read the article for you guys, and then we'll discuss right after. So here's something that we weren't expecting to see today. Premium PlayStation 3 avatars that randomly disappeared from the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation app back in June have returned for a number of users. Those who have been a part of the PlayStation ecosystem since the PlayStation 3 era understand the sentimental value of those avatars and why it's exciting to have them back. The avatars began reappearing following yesterday's partial PlayStation Network outage. So apparently there was an outage the other day, and now since the outage is over, those avatars have come back. But let's continue reading. Although I don't think that the two events are related, for the uninitiated, back in the day, Sony used to sell PlayStation Network avatars via the Sony used to sell PlayStation Network avatars via the PlayStation Store in addition to the free ones, and allowed players to carry them over to the subsequent generations. However, back in June, PlayStation 5 players could no longer use their PlayStation 3 avatars via the console or the PlayStation app. So, causing concern. Sony didn't officially respond to any inquiries for the past 3 months, but its PlayStation support agents misled players as usual into believing that those avatars were gone from modern platforms for good. That's not the case. So apparently there's some things where it's like, oh, these avatars are gone, but they weren't gone. It's just that the support system, the support agents at PlayStation, they was like, oh, those avatars are gone. They haven't been on the modern console since that generation. But obviously that's not true. The disappearance never made any sense to us anyway, since PlayStation Network profiles are not limited to one generation of consoles. If the PlayStation 3 avatars haven't reappeared for you yet, wait a little. Posting blah 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 blah. Okay, that is the end of that article. So if you guys are fans of the PlayStation 3 avatars and you guys were wondering, well, why is this PlayStation 3 avatar not on the PlayStation 5? Now apparently, since the outage happened and the outage is gone, somehow, some way, those avatars are returning. So if anything, look in the PlayStation Store for those avatars, and more than likely you'll be able to either repurchase them or they will reappear in your list of avatars and stuff, and you can select them for your PlayStation 5. Cool. How do I feel about this? I'm glad to see that the PlayStation, some things from the PlayStation's previous generations are still in effect in the newer consoles, and hopefully that these can be implemented in future consoles as well, and things to that nature. Next article. That was one article. This is the final article that we are going to be talking about, and this came 2 days ago that I didn't get a chance to cover, but we are going to be covering it today. So it says Sony is releasing a new PlayStation 5 console, but it is a downgrade. If you guys are unaware, due to the fact of the previous video that I have on my channel where I said that PlayStation is increasing the prices of the PlayStation 5s. If you guys have not watched that video, go check that video out after you watch this one. But basically, due to economic hardships, the PlayStation 5's consoles, all of the consoles are going up in price. So Sony's idea is to basically create a whole new PlayStation 5. But there's a catch. And we are going to be discussing that article right now. So it says, Sony is releasing a new PlayStation 5 console, but it appears to be a downgrade compared to the previous model to keep costs down. And let's continue reading. Sony plans to release a new PlayStation 5 Slim all-digital console with an 825 SSD, reducing the storage from the previous 1 terabyte to optimize production costs and rising expenses. The PlayStation 5 Slim standard with a disk drive will retain the 1 terabyte SSD, and the updated model is expected to launch in Europe first. So it's not launching in the States first, Europe. Europe is getting this first brand new version of the PlayStation 5 Slim. But let's continue reading. Sony is slated to release a new PlayStation 5 Slim all-digital console, but reports indicate that it will be slightly different from previous releases. Apparently, this is going to be PlayStation 5 Chassis E, which is CFI-2100 for the people that actually care. That basically it's a newer model version of the PlayStation. But let's continue reading. The PlayStation 5 was launched in 2020, and since then, Sony's console has gone through various hardware revisions under the moniker of Chassis. Each of these revisions introduce new improvements to the console, typically in the form of better cooling and power efficiency. Notably, the first generation of PlayStation 5, named the FAT PlayStation 5, had 3 chassis versions following it. Then, in November of 2023, Sony officially introduced the first PlayStation 5 Slim with the launch of Chassis D. As with every other Slim PlayStation before, the PlayStation 5 Slim was a significant reduction in size and also introduced the 1 terabyte SSD, a step up from the 825 gigabyte within the FATs, the original PlayStation 5 models. The new 1 terabyte standard was applied to both the digital and the standard editions of consoles. And in June of 2025, certification documents from a Japanese regulatory authority stated that Sony was preparing a successor to the Chassis D model, the CFI-2000 model. This new Chassis E model, also called, I just mentioned it, reportedly doesn't have any major design differentials, but it is instead intended to be optimized in production costs for Sony's end. And I will let you read the rest of that. I will link the article to this in the description. But basically, long story short, the PlayStation 5 is now getting a revision to basically cut down on costs. And it's going to be basically reverting back to, instead of the 1 terabyte SSD, we are going to be reverting back to the 825 gigabyte storage. Now, how do I feel about this, and how should you take this information? Honestly, it shouldn't be too bad, considering that we're getting an all digital version of the PlayStation 5 Slim. Not saying that we already didn't have an all digital version of the PlayStation 5 Slim, but now we're going to have a new version of that. And honestly, you can always upgrade the storage. It's not like they're going to take away the storage upgrade ability. It's just that instead of it being a 1 terabyte SSD pre-installed already in the PlayStation 5, now you're gonna have to buy extra storage, which is like, okay, it's fine. It's not a big deal. And plus, since they are cutting down on costs, the price should be reduced compared to the other versions of the PlayStation 5. So this is actually a good thing. or in some cases, some people would say it's a bad thing because it's I guess, an all digital version of the PlayStation 5 Slim. I don't know if you're gonna be able to throw on the disk drive like the other models of the PlayStation 5 Slim. I have no clue, but if more news gets updated as time progresses and as the release of this new PlayStation 5 comes out, I will try to cover it as best as I can. But yep, that is the video for you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like. Consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. We are on the road to 500. And yeah, my name is Cologne XP. We're NXP gang. And until next time, we're out.